March 27th, 2020, and Chris Ramsey and I are here first down on the river for a weekend camp out on one of our spots. So far, we've heard some noises, some stick cracking, and some walking around, and we also heard a couple of whoops. So we figure we're probably being watched already, which is fine. Got a camp not far from here set up, and normally Evans Bailey would be with us, but this coronavirus has put a halt on a lot of activities, and we're sad not to have him here. Had a couple of other good friends not make it as well, but Squatch Ranger Ryan White will be here tomorrow morning, and for tonight it's me, Kurt Stanley, and Chris Ramsey, and we'll try to get some good night vision stuff, some FLIR. We'll also try to get some recordings. Hopefully they'll kick the game camera off. We're hoping that too. Anyway, we'll get back to you in a minute. The evidence, we watched some of it tonight. Incredible. Incredible. You can just see this mama with the baby, and there's no mistaking it. There's this large head, rounded head, shoulders, and this little bobbing baby at her breast, squirming around and all that.
On Friday, March 27th, Kurt and Chris set up their base camp. After setting up base camp, it got dark. They decided to use a different strategy of not talking for the rest of the evening. They would only communicate through hand signals. They sat around their tent and listened for sounds, and also scoped the area with the FLIR. They were able to see 3 different subjects throughout the night. Here you can see one subject bobbing its head up and down, a very strange and unusual behavior for a deer. Go ahead and look for yourself. You be the judge.
I don't, it's flattened down, but to what extent, who knows? The other one was what, right over in here? And then the other one went over this side, then both of them went out of the way. And the coolest thing is right in between the valley here, strolling like didn't have a care in the world down in here, a big old fat coon comes waddling by this whole scenario. So I imagine that they don't really get a thrill out of attacking a coon. Coons, I've watched a coon kill a dog coon hunting down in Tishomingo one time. They are not to be messed with. If you ever think a coon's a sweet little critter, it'll cut you up or drown you one. But this is where we got them on the FLIR footage. Right, coming up right here. Perfect hiding spot down in here to observe our camp.
In this frame, you can clearly see the raccoon running through the shot. You can also see the 2 different subjects in the background. These 2 subjects were lurking around the area, bobbing their heads up and down throughout the evening. Kurt and Chris were able to record this on the FLIR. They were estimated to be 50 yards away, and the raccoon was about halfway between the subjects and Chris and Kurt.
We are now in Area 4, we call it. This is an area privately owned. It's had a lot of sightings. There's a lot of deer and wildlife here, and a lot of feeding of animals as well. So I think they take advantage of some of that. Anyway, we're going to be looking for tracks and any other signs we may find. If you remember last time, Evans and I were here, we found about a 15-inch track, and it was nearby. What caught our attention was an overturned picnic table. And nearby, I saw the track, and we kind of blew the leaves out from under it. Beautiful track. We didn't have casting material with us that day, but we do today. So if we find one, odds are, because we had a big rain last night. If you've been watching the live cast on the group page, then you'll know we had a heck of a rain. Anyway, we'll get back on here as soon as we run into something.
Investigating and looking around several different locations, several different sites. We found a bunch of older footprints and some sandbars up and down the North Canadian River today. But we did find some old tracks. We did measure them. We got one that was 16 inches, which was that's a big individual. We got base camp set up. We've got recorders going. We've got some food set out. We've got the game cam set up in a great spot. We are scanning our perimeter with several different types of night vision. We've gotten a couple of hits tonight of something kind of bobbing up and down. We've seen a rodent, like a possum. We've heard lots of coyotes. We've done calls. It's been a great experience.
His new equipment that he received for the Investigator of the Year award, and we've got all that set up. The camera work that we did earlier last night and then today, we ended up getting around 14 to 18 photos on the game cam, and Evans Bailey was nice enough to loan me the game cam and his FLIR. So luckily we have it. We wish Evans was with us. The photos we got are videos. They are not still shots. We wanted to go with videos. If we don't get anything at all on the game cam, that's fine. Evans and I had taken a piece of black duct tape and laid over one of the IR signal lights on it, which signals that you're all ready to shoot and it's all set up and all that. We didn't even want that, so we had covered that light up. It's simply an indicator to show that the camera's ready to go. I took the duct tape off of that and we set it up. Got about 15, 18 shots, I guess, altogether last night, and the majority of it was us walking out, us doing some stuff, and the unexplained, which we all get. Whoever spends the money on a game cam will find that out. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. The wind blows just right. So we set it up before we left and went to Area 4. We wanted to watch the camp, so we did. And we had 8 shots when we got back. So we put them on the laptop and we're looking at them. And a lot of them were the smoke from our fire and moths flying around.
We came up short on the sandbar in this location today. that's just part of the whole Bigfooting. You're not always gonna find everything you want to find, but that's just part of the job. Yeah, we didn't see any tracks in the sandbars. We were walking along the river looking on the sandbars, and me and Chris heard something across the river, like a twig or a branch break. It could have been the wind. It's very, very windy today. I don't remember what the miles per hour is, but it's windy, very windy. So it could have been that. I was thinking an animal at first. I got my binocular out, looked around, scoped around the area, didn't see anything, so probably the wind. But it's a beautiful day, beautiful weather. It's perfect out here. We are getting away from the world and enjoying this time Bigfooting. So we will just keep you posted as we go.
I'm going to put this recorder back over here where we got the FLIR footage last night, and I'll leave a piece of this candied bacon for them. Everybody get one of these. I wish I could just have thousands of them and give them to all of you. They're so cool.
So why are you choosing this spot?
Because this is the area that we picked up the IR footage last night.
Okay, so video recorder number 1 is up, and we're gonna put up a second recorder in a different spot, and in between that we're gonna put out some tuna.
We are. Okay, we have found an old track, but it's very similar. It's got what's left of the mid-tarsal break, wide area, still a little bit of the toe indentions, but again, it's been rained on, the area. Now, I'm going to say it's upside down. I'm going to say that this is the back part, here's the mid-tarsal break, and here's where the toes were. So I'm going to say it's different. And I'm only arguing with myself. I'm not going to argue with Ryan or Chris, because I'm a nice person. Really, I am. "16 inches. Here, let me do it again. 16 inches.
Oops, sorry. And not that this has anything to do with it because it's an old track, but
7 across.
okay, sorry. 7 across.
At the foot, and 4.5 inches at the heel.
And it's literally just feet away from your gifting site. We got the can of tuna right there hanging. So, I mean, they know about this path right here, and they might know this is a gifting area.
I've been saving this for them. It is bacon on the go. It's a meat candy. It's sweet. It's bacon. It's packaged. If you get any of this on your upholstery or your clothes, it never comes out, the juice. But it has an incredible odor. You can smell it. The minute I open the package, these guys are going to go, "Oh, I'm hungry for bacon," right, Chris?
Yeah. When you hear it for yourself or you see it for yourself, yeah, you become a knower. I was thinking on my way here this weekend, there's 3 of us, and 2/3 of us have actually seen a Bigfoot, actually had a sighting, and then 1/3 of us hasn't. That's me. And people on the outside probably think I'm the crazy one because I've never seen one, and I'm out here wanting to find one. and I'm wanting to see it for myself, and I'm just actively involved in this whole phenomenon, and I'm researching and collecting reports and making up a database, and I'm just totally involved in this whole phenomenon, and never had a sighting. So I was just thinking on the car ride over that kind of makes me the crazy one, because I've never even seen one yet.
Good.
For tracks on the sandbars, and Kurt and Chris were in this area yesterday, and they walked right past the same spot, and they did not see these rocks here yesterday. They have been the only people down in this area. This is a private location. This isn't like a state park where people can come through here. So why are these rocks laying right here and they weren't here yesterday? One right here, and Kurt sees another one just up there, so they would have possible right there. Took another step, and then third step up there, and just went up this hill, and this is a steep hill.
Here it is. Toe marks. See the toe, big toe? It's a right foot. Big toe, little toes, indentation right there. Toes dug in for traction. Right there. It matches right along the walk up.
So they probably maybe crossed the river at one point?
Yeah.
Okay, this is another possible one at the very top of the hill. We're just saying it's a possible print. Not sure how it's showing up in the camera. I can't tell from the lighting. But it's at the top of the hill. It's right back behind us is just straight.
Just doesn't do it justice at all.
Right. Just straight down into the water.
We went back down to the river today. We found an older print that we had missed, and it measures 16 plus inches. Well, we got video of it and all that. Again, it was at an angle that we couldn't cast it. It was on a bank.
And it's just still following the same path.
Still following
this
the
direction.
same path right through here.
We're tracking it, even though it's old. We're finding its pathway. Yeah, that was a good amount of footage that we watched on the laptop earlier. It was a lot more than what I was expecting that you guys got from last night. Yeah, this area it's a great little area. This is a nice kind of I guess it's government owned, and you have access to it, and so nobody else is here except for us. I mean, it's not a state park where people can just come visit whenever during park hours or whatever. Nobody's here, so it's great to have access to this property. I mean, the river, this campsite is a great location. I mean, we were guessing earlier, we're thinking 100, 150 yards away is the river, and I mean, that's our whole theory behind the N.C.R.P. is these Bigfoot are traveling up and down this North Canadian River through western Oklahoma, northwest Oklahoma, and yeah, this is a great area to find them.
had anything thrown at us tonight, but we did find some of the objects that were thrown at us last night. Black walnut. Looks like part of the shell had been opened up and the goodies were eaten out of it. And it came flying in. So we saved it. We saw a stick of wood, and I said on the Facebook Live, whoa, that was a good shot, man. Really good shot, right into the fire. But this little baby came sailing in last night and landed right under our, we have a table set up where we have our recharging equipment and night vision and food, whatever and that little baby was not there yesterday, and it was there today, and we found it. Little black walnut, heavy, and some little guy chunked it at us last night. There's a piece of bark that I had the recorder glued to. You still see traces of glue on it?
Yeah.
And again, if you saw the video, this and the recorder were neatly laid down here. And it's been a while since we've been out here. And there's a chunk of wood. You can see it down in there where it was secured. Guess what was my 180-pound test line? Still there. So that's pretty amazing that they found that somewhere between where my truck is and here, picked it up and said, here, we'll just leave it for you in your little recorder. Here's the tuna fish. Try not to step around it, see if there's any tracks whatsoever. What I was thinking is this is pretty rotten. If a big old 30-pound coon tried to get out here and get that, he'd probably break the limb.
Well, definitely southeast Oklahoma, which is pretty well known, is the most active area of the state. In the NOBRO, we kind of divide the state up into 4 quadrants or 4 districts. So we have the northwest, the northeast, southeast, southwest districts. We could also put a central district in there too, but it kind of goes along with the southwest. But anyway, what I'm noticing from the reports is, yeah, it's mostly in the southeast district. We get a lot from the northeast as well. I would say those are the 2 main districts. We also have a few from the southwest district, maybe like the Anadarko area. We got an investigator down there, Mike Parton. He investigates down there. He collects some good reports. The northwest, we just don't have people reporting from the northwest. There are some sightings maybe out there. They're just not getting reported. But they have happened. I have actually collected one for our database. I have heard of other sightings in the northwest, but it's definitely the least reported. And there's good reason for that. I mean, it's so flat out there, but I've pointed it out before in some of my YouTube videos. They're traveling the riverway, like we've already mentioned. The riverway is covered with trees. I mean, it's lined with trees. So as long as they stay on that river, they're going to be covered. Oh, we hear an owl over here. They're going to be covered following the rivers. So, and I have my own little idea as they're coming through the northwest and down here to central Oklahoma, following the river. I think they could take a couple of days and go off of the river, find a pocket of wooded area, like on a farm or something, or near a farmhouse. They could hide out there for a day or 2 and sleep and rest, and then get back to the river and continue on. That's just my own idea.
It is. Is that a cable?
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
Is that part of a snare? No, that is a snare trap.
What kind of animal is it?
I don't know, but I bet your viewers will know. Some type of feline,
Maybe a feral cat.
maybe. But it's definitely got a cable. Followed up by coyotes. It might as well be us out there doing it. It's almost exactly the same research, investigation. They have different things that they do. We have different things that we do. And that's why I'm so excited to get Shane and Randy both down here so they can experience some of this. Last night was incredible. We'll be putting this together. Ryan, who's doing the film right now, the Squatch Ranger, he's going to do some of it. I'm going to do a show with this material. It's just been awesome.
Yeah, another video that I did that kind of goes along with the travel in the rivers. Another theory is they might be using the river. It's a combination. They're using the river, and then they might accidentally find a railroad line, and that's like a path of least resistance, and they could just use that railroad line and follow that. A lot of the times the railroad lines are wooded also, and they have good cover. So yeah, there definitely could be using the railroad lines in combination with the rivers here in Oklahoma. Also, if you follow another idea that was given to me from the Red Dirt Cryptid Facebook page is they might be following the old abandoned railroad lines that aren't even used anymore. They're not in use, and that'd be like definitely the path of least resistance. And what I think is really cool is if they choose to follow that, they're going to find those old railroad bridges, and that's just going to take them across. They could cross the river so easy because nobody's using those old railroad bridges. And anyway, they can, I mean, the combinations are endless for them. They can use the railroad lines, they can use the power cuts, they can use the rivers. I mean, they're just using a combination of those. And it's not like they're looking down on a GPS or a map. This is just all accidental as they're traveling. They just accidentally find these paths, and maybe when they come back the next season or whenever, they remember what they did before, and they can use those travel ways and come back by memory. All right, we found this tree right here in this little area where I can set this recorder in. Chris actually found this spot, so we're going to have two audio recorders going tonight. They're the same brand, and so anyway, that doesn't matter, but they're the same style of recorder. Just putting it down in there, and it's going to pick up whatever we hear tonight. So wish us luck, and hopefully we get some good activity.
So tonight, Chris was on the night vision and was looking over here, and he said something's popping its head up looking at us. So we all stopped what we were doing, and we got our equipment out. Ryan has a pair of binocular night visions, and then he also has a monocular that will record. And I pulled out Evan's FLIR, and there it was. A round head, shoulders bobbing up and down, kind of peering at us and all that. And it lasted probably 5 minutes at tops. It was a little shorter tonight, but it was very good. And thanks to Chris, he found it.
During this 2-night investigation, Chris proved to be the spotter of the group, as he was always spotting a subject before Kurt and I, and he would relay what he would see to us. We would later get out our night vision and try to locate the creature as well. We used several different types of night vision, We used the FLIR. We also used a monocular of night vision, of mine, seen right here. This was the first investigation I've ever used this night vision. We also used a pair of binoculars, which you can see here. In this frame, Chris thought he saw eye shine really low to the ground. I located the spot. I'm not sure what that is, but it wasn't a Bigfoot or eye shine. We continued to scope the area around our base camp perimeter, trying to find other creatures in the night. We ended up seeing one rodent, a possum, but no other Bigfoot-related activity. So it's day 3 for these guys, day 2 for me. It's Sunday morning. Chris got our campfire going. We've just kind of rolled out of the tent. It was extremely cold last night. It was 39 degrees, felt like 36. So not quite freezing, but close enough for me. We retrieved Kurt's recorder, his audio recorder, and for some reason it was turned off. We're thinking when he wedged it in there, he accidentally pressed the power button, held it in for 3 seconds, and it ended up not being on all night. I'm going to go retrieve my audio recorder here in a second. We also got the game cam, and we're going to check it here in just a minute to see if we got any pictures from last night. We're really hoping we did. They're different than us. I mean, I think they're an ape-like creature. That's just me. I think they're some kind of a form of an ape. They're an animal. I think they're flesh and blood. We can argue about what they are all we want. Some people, think. We also think there's the theory out there they're a kind of an in between a human and an ape. They're more human-like, which I could go with that too. But they live like that. I mean, we're spoiled. We're civilization. We want to go to McDonald's and order a Happy Meal and get it. They're different. They've been, like you said, they've been doing it for hundreds of however many years. They know how to conserve their food and store it in places. It's just instinctual. It's just instilled in them. They know what to do like that. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that was us.
That's it.
Well, that's pretty disappointing.
Yep.
That's just kind of part of it, though, sometimes. We had a great spot selected to put that game cam, but it just didn't work out. Well, we did see an animal around there last night. We saw something. We got that on the FLIR. So we will review that footage later. So I'm on my way right now to retrieve my audio recorder. There's a great game trail. We actually never got over to the field last night to scan back and forth. For whatever reason, we just didn't feel the need to go check it out. I will check to see if I got any recordings. Here's the tree right here.
We really wish that some of you were with us. I know that the co-founder of North Canadian River Project, Evans Bailey, really miss you, Evans. I'm used to him being here. John Vandeverder authored the book Relics, could have been here with me. 20-something year buddy of mine. I'm going to go on a little bit more about my friends Shane and Randy. talk normal. If you go out, yes, it's spooky. We are in a very spooky, weird place. The trees look scary. Everything laying around looks scary. Relax. Be yourself. We start talking, and if you get too excited, or I think they feel those vibes and they run off. We just kind of laugh, and even when stuff like this is being thrown at us, it's kind of, whoa, that's cool, you know, and make jokes. And Ryan's been doing some incredible calls, and the response we're getting from him is incredible. I mean, incredible, and for miles off. And several of them didn't sound like coyotes, so we're hoping to get more of that.
Okay, so I've made it to the spot where my recorder is. Here's the time to reach in there and see if anything got recorded. So anyway, I'm gonna check it out and see if we got any recordings. I'll put it in the video.
So we're on our last day, Sunday. It's March 29th, 2020. We've made our way up to the gifting station, and we're looking along the sandbar, see if there's any activity footprint wise down here tonight, or last night rather. And we found this track. From my angle, the toes look pretty definite. There's no tread in there, and we just thought we'd stop and video it. Again, it is not castable. I'm sure it could be casted, but not without barriers, which we don't have. Anyway, thought we'd stop and take a look at this.
Boy, it's got to be the same guy.
16. There's the end of the toe. There's the back of the heel. 16.
The area is great. We kind of covered it before. We're the only ones down here. We're the only ones that have access. You have access to this land. So I love that it's just private. It's just us. We know that there's no people down here. So if we hear a sound, we know it's not human hoaxing or humans, you know, calling back, you know, to be silly or whatever. We know that's not the case. So I like that we have this access to this land. I like the close proximity to the river, so we can check the sandbars. You were saying the trees looked freaky earlier. Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but yeah, I guess they kind of do. It's a great little wooded area. We got a field over here, which I think when the crops are growing, I think they could easily come out of the wood line and you know, feed on the crops that are growing over here on this field. But right now there's nothing over there. So I think the area is great, and it has that Native American history with the concho, and it's Native American land around here. I like that element to it. We know that they have some kind of bond with the Native Americans going back hundreds of years, so it's a great area. The morning of day 3, our final day of our investigation, we did a recreation from the FLIR footage of Friday night. Chris was able to direct me to the exact spot from the subject of Friday night. I tried to recreate the movements of the subject, bobbing up and down. I had to crouch very, very low in this position. It seemed extremely low for a deer to be crouching down, an unlikely deer behavior. At this point, our investigation is inconclusive of what the creature was that we saw from the FLIR. In this frame, you can see me standing up and holding my arms out for frame of reference. Okay, so we just found the print that Chris found, and it's actually just, the river is just right there, and there's this nice little, what would you call this? This crawlway or game trail or whatever you want to call it. And it goes right that way, back up
to the camp.
Back up to right at the very edge of the game, where the game trail ends, actually intersects with another one. That's where we put up the game cam last night, the trail cam. Didn't get anything, but it was a good spot, a good location. All right, we're gonna measure this print, so you can go ahead and put that down there.
But I see where you're saying too, but if
Like maybe he gripped with his toes.
you're right here, it's about 14 and a half. If you go about right here, you're about 13. So it's about 13 to 14 and a half.
We'll go with the modest measurement. We'll go with the 13 because we're not sure, but that could definitely be toe slippage.
There's a mid-tarsal break right there.
But that could, where I'm saying up there, could definitely be toe slippage or gripping in the sand with the toes are even bigger than what it was appearing.
True.
So good find. Shout outs. I'll shout out to Evans. You've already done that. I miss Evans as well. He's always great to have along. I really like him to be along. He really likes to get down and look for the tracks, and he's very knowledgeable about the tracks, and he even casts tracks if we found some. He's a good caster. Give a shout out to Troy, our lead investigator of No Bro. He's taught me a lot of things. Been on a few expeditions with him, southeast Oklahoma and Honubby. I do have a Squatch Ranger YouTube channel. All you have to do is go to YouTube in the search bar, just write the words Squatch Ranger, and my channel will come up. I have about 290 subscribers. Love for that to go up to 300. I would appreciate you to hit the subscribe button. Check out the show Squatch Ranger Files. There's tons of Bigfoot reports that we've been collecting, and I like to pass those reports on to my audience. So thanks for inviting me. It's been a great time so far, and looking forward to more activity.
All right. It's day 3. Last day. It's March 29th, 2020. It's Kurt Stanley, North Canadian River Project, with Ryan White, the Squatch Ranger, and Mr. Chris Ramsey. Anyway, we have struck camp, got everything loaded up, and now we've got leisure time. So we came back to the baiting site, and we discovered that they did not take our offerings. There were some tracks around here, and so we're not disappointed by any means. So as we're walking away from there to come down to the bank, which I'm standing on right now, I'll get a view of it for you. Evans, you know this bank very well, don't you? Wonder how many times we've walked it. There's the guy. Say hi, Chris.
Hi.
Ryan.
What's up, Facebook land?
So anyway, we're walking away from it, and what do you say, Ryan? How many steps did we take away before we found that 16-inch?
I don't know, 10 to 12 steps, maybe less.
So there it was again. The same track that we found yesterday, we found another one, and it's right around 16 inches, and it was a fresh track right over by our baiting site. So it wasn't very deep in the sand, so we didn't cast it. I could have cast it if I had what they call, it's called barriers, shipping bands, they call them, and you just take them and go around the edge and poke them down in the ground around your track, and then you can pour the solution in that you're using to make your cast. It's too bad we didn't get to use it. Evans had sent 2 kits along with us, and we just have not found a deep enough track. We were hoping to get some. Ryan got a bunch of material, a lot of video and stills. Chris got a lot of still and video. Of course, I got, I don't know, probably a couple of hours worth, and then turned on my night vision stuff on my main camera, and put a boom mic on instead of the wireless and shot. Well, it was a mutual interview with Ryan, and of course we talked a little bit as we were sitting around. We mentioned a lot of your names, so if your ears were burning, we were talking about you a little bit. We talked about Troy and some of his research, and some things I've seen when I was out with Troy, and Chris got to see the same thing I saw. I was on an expedition not too long ago. Evans and I were with Troy Hudson, and he puts us old researchers away from the folks that are coming in. Anyway, I just thought we'd give you a last view. I might not get another chance to do a live, and we cannot wait to show you some of the footage. I think you'll be really impressed with it. Hope so anyway. Give a big shout out to everybody. Anyway, we are very happy to be out here, and it's been a great weekend. Going to be a little sore, going to be a little tired, but it's the kind that you limp away with a smile on your face. So for me, Chris Ramsey, say
Hello.
or bye, and Ryan White.
See you guys.
We'll see you later.
Do it this direction. I won't do it right at the camera. All right, ready?
Ready. Do it again.
Okay.